Alright guys, we're back with the 89 Honda Prelude engine build. It's actually going into 91 Prelude. It's a V20 A5 out of 89 parts car. And just got done polishing the crankshaft. I'll plug in some clips of us doing that. Alright guys, so as you can see, this is what the crankshaft looks like right now. This I already did a while back. It turned out decent. This light kind of sucks. Sorry about that. There we go. So I kind of did that one already. And this is the worst one. This is the worst main bearing. I'm doing the main bearings for now. The rod bearings, they're going to be a little more trickier. I don't know how I'm going to do them on the lathe because it's going to be moving, you know. It's going to be a lot trickier. Alright guys, finished my passes with 600. I turned the lathe on high. It's got this thing going really good. On low, it wasn't working as good. It's actually, I can't actually believe it took all the crap off, even the worst one. So I'm super happy. So on to 800 now. And on to 1,000 after that, and probably 1,500 to finish her off. And then we'll worry about the rod bearings. Alright guys, I think it was a success. Got the mains finish off 1,500. They look really good. So I think we did good, guys. Just got the rod bearings to go now and put this engine together. End up wrapping the sandpaper around the rod journals and then using a shoelace, wrapped it around there. And I held the shoelace on each end. Made sure to use lots of WD-40. Then I turned the lathe on and let the crankshaft go around and turn it off. You can also do this on all the main journals and rod journals. You can just pull the shoelace back and forth, just do it the manual way. But I just put it on the lathe to be a little bit easier and not as time consuming. But either way it'd work, and the rod bearings journals turned out pretty nice as well. Also guys, I forgot to mention I honed all the cylinders with 400 grit on a regular old like 3-arm prong hone, which I think I showed you guys. I think I got clips. I'll plug it in if not. And also I decked the head and the block with 400 grit sandpaper. I think I have videos of that. I'll plug in here too. And then whenever we get to the cylinder head, I'll show you guys what we do there. But for right now, we're focusing on the block, and we'll get to the cylinder head here in a few minutes.
I didn't really look yet. I didn't really look for that.
That's Deej. How much I need. About that much. I'm gonna set on the crankshaft.
Let's see how the block is.
Alright guys, we're back another day. I've actually done a bunch. So as you guys saw, we did the main bearings there, and I don't think I told you guys what measurements we got. Anyways, they weren't that great. We were kind of disappointed by our measurements. I don't think any of them were in spec. Maybe like 1 or 2 of them was in spec. It was pretty sad. And then anyways, then we decided to mic the crank with the actual mic, and the crank was fine. It was only like 0.0002 under spec of what Honda says it should be. So it's like 2/10,000ths or whatever, so that's like nothing. So that's for me polishing the crank, so that shouldn't be that issue. So we should be good there. And you can tell there's a little bit of difference between each one. I mean, it wasn't all the same, obviously. There's a little bit, but we couldn't really measure it. It was just that tight, that small of a difference. Anyways, I bought new bearings. I bought some Males, however you say that word, and clevets out of Riley's instead of the cheap junk Engine Tech ones I got with the engine gasket kit I got. And they actually measure out better. I also cleaned off these surfaces here. I polished these with 1000 grit with WD-40. Got those just a little better, had some gunk on them. And we're there, I think. We already measured them once. This was really good. This was like 0.0017, which is pretty good. This one was really good. The other ones were all close, but they weren't all perfect. And we had to turn the crank quarter of a turn just to see what it would do. And I think we're there, guys. So, as you guys can tell, that right there is about 0.002, which is a service limit, which will be fine. This is an old engine. I'm not going to put many miles on this engine. This engine's just there for now until maybe I go K-swap or something fun someday. So, I don't know. But this one's the only worrisome one of the bunch. It's about just a little bit more than 0.002. But everything else, though, measures out at 0.002, which is a service limit. So I think we're going to be good. It's an old engine. What do you expect? I'm going to do the rod bearings right now, see where those are at. I think those are going to be perfectly fine, because when we measured those out on the mic, they were actually way better than what the minimum measurement would be. So we're going to get it right back to you guys and let you guys know about the rod bearings. All right, guys, on to the rod bearings. Got all the pistons here. Got them all done, actually. Already did them all. Just kind of sped ahead without showing you guys. Sorry. As you guys can see, right there is one. Get my plastic gauge here. So we're right at 2000s. You guys can tell. So we're right at 2000s for all the rod bearings, which is, you know, we're on the service limit, but it'll be fine. For an old engine, like I said before, this will be perfectly fine. So I'm going to make sure I get all the plastic gauge off the bearings and the journals brake clean. And then got a little bit of time here yet. I might start assembling this thing. I'm going to go over some final things. I need to put the thrust washers in, or thrust bearings, we're going to call them. They go in the middle there. Got to put those in. Probably start doing that, start assembling this thing. Use lots of assembly lube. And yeah, it's getting exciting.
I know where the wrench is, at least.
Got it. Kind of heavy, guys. A little bit. There we go.
What does it say now? Did you light it? With the tractor? Page 29. Nope.
Make sure the grooves face the outside so the crank thrust gets oiled in.
Wait, oh, that's after the two goes. I think it was like down. Okay.
Got it out. Got the new seal. Right. Oh, look at that. It's beautiful. We actually got, it's not flush anymore. The old seal, guys, was flush. That thing was cooked. I mean, it's rock hard to barely squeeze. This one's so much better. So glad we got that.
We'll start it up. Did I do the thing? Bob?
Alright guys, time to torque down the main bolts here. I'm going to do about, first set, about 15 pounds or so. And then go up to about 25 or whatever. I usually go in 3 times though. So I'll probably do it all about 15 or 10. Right, 10. And go up from there. Actually, I'll do 15. There's 15. And until you go to 49 foot-pounds, which is max torque on these bolts here. Final torque, guys, doing 49 50 foot-pounds. I'm marking the bolts with this Sharpie, so don't forget which ones I didn't torque. So it's gonna get 2 dots this time. So here we go.
This one's different. This one's Well, if you put this in there, they'll be the same. So.
Alright, done. And check it one more time with this digital one I got real quick.
Wait, look, it's not going back in. Do you see that? It's not going back in.
That was about 2 foot-pounds off.
Wait, Grandpa.
Make sure you guys always, the crank always turns nice once it's torqued. Feels really nice actually, so I'm excited. So we're good.
Is that good?
Alright guys, on to piston rings. So, got the bottom end of the engine assembled, so now we're doing the rings here. I already put the oil ring on this piston here, as you guys can see. Pretty easy, these slip on there really nice, you can just like bend them over, put the bottom one on, then put the middle guy, the mesh looking thing, and put the top one in, pretty easy. You might have to move them around a little bit to get the mesh thing in there, not too shabby though. Anyways, we've got the second ring, which the Hastings box tells you which is which. And we're gonna gap this, so we're gonna put this about, Honda books is about quarter or half-inch from the bottom. We've been doing about half because it's not a perfect engine. Put it about halfway down, and then we measure it with a feeler gauge. And I have a little specs on my phone, which I'll show you guys here in a second. Measure it, and usually I've already done all the other pistons, and the second ring here I've had to file off some. They were too tight, but the top ring though was perfectly fine, so it was right where it needed to be. So we're gonna show you guys how to do this. Alright guys, I kind of screwed up on this, but you get your piston here. Accidentally put the oil ring on, so you guys should you guys ready. And what you want to do is use the piston to push it in, that way you get it level. So I can only go that much, so I'll just get something else and like a can or something. Yeah, it's too small. And push it in the rest of the way. Alright guys, I got a little service manual, if you guys can see that. So that's what you guys need. So right now I'm doing the top ring, right? Or no, I'm doing the second ring. And so I want to be in between 16 thousandths and 22 thousandths, or 0.02 and 0.016. So we're gonna see what we got here. We're gonna grab a feeler gauge, obviously, and get, I think these have been tighter usually, so I'm gonna get the smallest one, the 0.016, which is right here. And you guys won't be able to see it, but I'm gonna put it in between the crack of the piston ring, so when they pinch together like this, you know, use your piston ring, I'm gonna feel it, you know, like a feeler gauge. So you're gonna see, I messed up. Right guys, so 0.016 was a little tight, which is the smallest, so we're gonna open her up a little bit. Got a file here, file on each end a little bit here. Pretty simple. Don't go too crazy. This is pretty hard, but I don't think you'll screw it up. Alright guys, here comes the fun part, putting the rings on the piston now. I could do this in the vise, but I just did this because I'm lazy. I got these pliers. These aren't the correct ones. You can't find the correct piston ring pliers. But these will work, I guess, if you got something like this. Snap ring pliers might work. Probably not, though. So I got these for now, even though these aren't right. But, I'll spread her apart. Oh, make sure you get the dot. Some of these, there's a dot or different, the paperwork tells you. The dot has to go facing up. I made that mistake 2 times already. I had to tear them all apart, so that was dumb. Just plop this thing, expand or open here. I use the backside, easier to get first. And do that. Do this side here. I'm going to get your fingers in there. And just kind of push her down. Usually use the pliers here. If we had the right pliers, it'd be a lot easier. This works just fine for me. Come on now. There we go, we're done. Boom. Just like that. Second, rings on. Alright guys, time for piston install. I actually installed 3 other pistons. I had them all installed, and then I forgot that I didn't make sure the ring gaps, the end gaps, were like opposite of one another. I didn't do that, so I had to pull that piston back out. That's piston number 3. So that was kind of unfortunate, but oh well. I'm going to show you guys now how to get this all working here. So I got all the ring gaps on opposite sides from one another. Got my spring compressor here, my ring compressor, and we're going to loosen this bad boy up. And make sure you get it nice and lubed up so the rings will not get stuck. Stick the ring compressor over it just like that. And then crank her on down. You want some of the piston sticking out, that way it'll go in the cylinder wall decent. Got some of the piston sticking out. Make sure you got the piston going the right way. Mine goes the way that the air was pointing towards the timing cover side of the engine, the front of the engine. Where the timing belt goes. There's that. Boom, easy peasy. So that went pretty well. Make sure you lost lubrication. I had that problem a few times where I didn't want to go in because I didn't have enough lube. So there we go. Alright guys, I want to show you guys another quick tip. So whenever you're installing like the rod caps or the main bearings, always make sure that they go like this. Okay, so you see those little flares out here? This flares out. Usually they go together like that, and the two flat ends go together. But another way you can know is obviously read your service manual. Got the good stuff. You can put a little bit of this on the rod bolts, guys. Or, yeah, rod bolts. So we can get a little bit tighter torque, hopefully. Just a tad bit, because we're still in the service one. I should have done this for the main cap bolts, but I didn't even think about it. I kind of forgot. I actually forgot to oil the threads too. I did it on the initial plastic gauge. It should have enough oil in there. It should have been all right. And we're torquing this thing at 34 foot-pounds. The rod bolts. Just gonna go in a couple stages here. Make sure them tight. And then 15.
See this thing here? That goes in there.
4. Alright guys, onto the oil pump. I already checked everything a while back, all the clearances, it looked really good. So I'm going to go off that, and we're going to replace this front crankshaft seal right here. So I got a big socket here. Hopefully this is right, it's 1.25 inches. Try to pound the seal out, pound the new one in. And yeah, button that up, and then put the rear main seal doodad on as well. So we're going to get to it. Ta-da! That was easy.
You guys, I'm about to go.
Sweet, fully bottomed out. Super crusty O-rings out.
They're all like snapped. Well, they're like, oh, like, I don't know. Never mind.
Got a new O-ring installed in the oil pickup too. So in it goes.
I really hope that these tires never go flat. They'd be a pain. Because we have to take off the wheel weights. I mean, like, what? Hold on. That might look bad.
Oh, got it. That was